وجل قلبي بارا وعملي سارا وشكارا ورزقي دار أولادي إبرانا وجلي دا قبر بنبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم مستقرا وقرارا برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المكرمين. قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه ومتقن خطابه: اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. أوصيكم عباد الله ونفسي بتقوى الله ونظم أمركم. As you see, we are about to have the final days of the Zul-Hijjah, and we are close to the new year of Hijrah and also the months of Muharram. The months of Zul-Hijjah signifies the sacrifice of Ibrahim alayhi salam, and the months of Muharram signifies the sacrifice of Imam al-Hussein salawatullahi alayhi. And these 2 months are the months of sacrifice, and we are commemorating this occasion, the Imam Hussein alayhi salam's sacrifice, in order to inculcate in ourselves the spirit of sacrifice. This is the reason that we are commemorating the actually tragedy of Karbala. It is in sync with the Hajj ritual. The same reason is applicable on Imam Hussein alayhi salam's majalis. The reason that we are holding, the ritual of Hajj is to, promote the spirit of sacrifice in ourselves. The same thing would be applicable in actually majalis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And you see that in the Quran, we have the notion of wilayat or imamat. And we said this many times. The reason that imamat is so important in Islam because the imamat will provide the continued existence of sacrifice as an example for people. This is the reason that we have to actually stick to the state of vilayat in order to be sure that, we are going to be reminded constantly and continuously to the notion of sacrifice. You see that in the Quran says that Ibrahim was Imam, and also he was Khalil, friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what the Quran says. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, gives to Ibrahim many titles. One of the titles is Siddiq. One of the titles is Hanif. One of the titles is Khalil. This is what the Quran says. وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ خَلِيلًا. وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ خَلِيلًا. Why he was Khalil of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? There is a hadith, it says that Khalil, in fact, salam rahmatullah wa barakatuh, has connotation of Tawheed. Connotation of Tawheed. He was qualified to get the title of Khullat or Khalil because he was always asking help only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see that when he was about to be thrown into the fire of Nimrud, Jibreel came to him. He said, do you need any help? He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees me. If he wants to help me, then salam wa barakatuh, he would help me, and I only ask help from Allah, not you. That's why you see that why we are reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, to know that if we want to get close to the quality of friendship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or to be Khalil of Allah, we have to practice this. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. That the reason that you are only asking help, you are doing tawheed, you are doing the worshipping of Allah, because you are only asking help only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Arabic, nasta'een should be before iyaka. But when you say first iyaka, then nasta'een, it means that exclusively the help is needed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. You don't say nasta'een or iyak. Na'budu iyak. No. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. In order to show that we are worshipping only you, and we are asking for help from you only. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. And if you are really practicing إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, it is not only just saying by the word, then you are like Ibrahim Khalilullah. The reason that Ibrahim was qualified to be Khalilullah, because he practiced إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. That's why, Ibrahim was qualified to be, the Khalil of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, he had another good quality. Whenever he was asked for the help, he was not saying no. Many people, usually they say no to help. Sometimes you say help, yes, sometimes you say no. But Ibrahim was among of those who were always saying yes. If you need help, I'm ready to help. So that's why he was qualified to be Imam. And as I said, the Imam is actually is the one who is showing the virtues in the life, especially the virtue of sacrifice. I said this many times. That's why the meaning of Islam, according to the Quran, is one of the meanings is sacrifice. See that? If you are ready to offer sacrifice, then you are qualified to be Muslim. So this example of sacrifice is needed in the society. That's why, wilayat is important, because wilayat will secure the continued existence of this example in society. You see that, the example of Ibrahim alayhi salam in sacrifice. Then you have the example of sacrifice in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You see the sacrifice of Khadija, the wife of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You see that Khadija, we should not limit the sacrifice only to the males, also females. According to the Quran, we have many examples of sacrifice from ladies, like the wife of Fir'aun, like the Maryam bint Imran, and like Khadija bint Khuwaylid, like Sumayya, the mother of Ammar. She was the first Shahida in Islam, the first one who actually was saying Allah, 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 Ahad, 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 and she was ready to offer her life as sacrifice to promote the word of La ilaha illallah. And then Khadija had very comfortable life, but in order to promote the word of La ilaha illallah, she spent all of her wealth. As the Quran says, جاهدوا بأموالكم وأنفسكم. You have to strive in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by your wealth. And this is what Khadija did. And you see that because of boycott, she didn't get enough food. And she went through the starvation. And this starvation caused her to depart this world. This is the sacrifice. The sacrifice is not just, to get the strike of a sword in the battlefield. This is another type of sacrifice. And then you have the sacrifice of Zainab, salawatullahi alayha. You see Zainab, without Zainab, we're ignorant about the tragedy of Karbala. She was the messenger of Imam Hussein alayhi salam's blood to the societies, generation after generation. And so that's why it is very important that when we actually talk about Prophet Ibrahim, and you see that Prophet Ibrahim is one example of sacrifice. But this is not limited to Ibrahim. In every age, there would be someone representing the sacrifice of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says that, Ibrahim himself asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he did dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, I was the promoter of Tawheed. He was the promoter of La ilaha illallah. But he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this virtue of Tawheed to be continued over the ages. This banner of Tawheed should not be down after his departure from this life. That's why he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخَرِينَ وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخَرِينَ. What is the meaning of lisan al-sidq? Lisan al-sidq means the tongue which conveying the truth. Is that one of the meaning of this? It means that, Ya Allah, one of the tafsir is that, Ya Allah, in every age, I ask you people to mention me in a good way, to praise me. They do. Every year, when people, they go to the Hajj ceremony, they praise Ibrahim alayhi salam. When we do dua, every time we do dua, we praise Ibrahim. Say, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa tahannan ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad kama sallayta wa barakta wa tahannanta ala Sayyidina Ibrahim wa ala ali Sayyidina Ibrahim. Every time you say salawat, you are praising Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You also praise Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. And this is the meaning of this verse, they say. وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخَرِينَ. That in every age people would praise me. But this is one connotation of this verse. But the other connotation is that, no, I offered sacrifice for the word of Tawheed, for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, I want that I would not be the only one in the history of humanity to offer sacrifice for your cause. No, in every age, I ask you to make someone to do what I did, to offer sacrifice as I offered sacrifice. And this is the meaning of lisan al-sidq. وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخَرِينَ. It means that in every age, when someone offers sacrifice for the great cause, in fact, this is lisan al-sidq. This is the manifestation and embodiment of my own sacrifice. And this is what happened. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, we fulfilled, we responded the dua of Ibrahim by saying, وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُمْ لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ عَلِيًّا. In every age, we actually manifested the truth of sacrifice which was offered by Ibrahim alayhi salam. Now, some people, they say, oh, here is In fact, you know, when Quran says, وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُمْ لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ عَلِيًّا, Aliyah means Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullah alayhi. That, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala manifested another type of sacrifice from the progeny of Ibrahim alayhi salam, who was Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullah alayhi. But usually this is very unusual interpretation. But we don't need this interpretation in order to apply this verse on Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullah alayhi, because he was another example of sacrifice. As I said last time, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullah alayhi, when the existence of Islam was at stake, the battle of Khandaq, and only Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam came forward and offered his life as sacrifice to protect the existence of Islam. And this was the reality, because this is what Prophet said, بَرَزَ الْإِيمَانُ كُلُّهُ فِي مُقَابِلِ الشِّرْكِ كُلِّهِ. The whole Iman, the whole faith is fighting the whole shirk, the whole kufr. That's why when Imam alayhi salam came out victorious from this battle, what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said? He said, ضربة علي يوم الخندق أفضل من عبادة الثقلين. The strike of Ali in the battle of Khandaq is better than the worships of jinn and ins. And that's why, he was example of sacrifice, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi alayhi. We need continuously to see this example. This is the meaning of wilayat. The importance of wilayat. Why we need the wilayat? Because we always need someone who is fostering the essence of sacrifice in the society. And this is the connotation of wilayah. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says to Prophet, you have to convey the message of wilayat to people. Wilayat is so important because wilayat, in fact, is by wilayat, by accepting the wilayat, you are accepting the Islam. If you don't accept the wilayat, then your Islam is not complete. As the Quran says, itmam. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي. Ikmal. I said many times the difference between ikmal and itmam, kamal and tamam, completion and perfection. Completion means that you have to have all parts in order to have the existence of something. Yeah. But perfection means that no, all parts are there. But then you can compare between which one is better. For example, I said this example, Salamatullah wa barakatuh, in Salat. You see that in Salat we have Arkanus Salat. We have ajza, parts of Salat. Some parts are essential. Some parts are not essential. For example, ruku is essential part in Salat. If you don't have ruku in Salat, your Salat is not complete. If you don't have sujood in actually salat, your salat is not complete. If you don't have wuzu, you are doing namaz and suddenly you remember, oh, I forgot to do wuzu. You have to break your salat and go do wuzu and come back to the salat. Is that right? It's called أجزاء الصلاة وأركان الصلاة وأركانها. It means that this actually parts are so essential. If you lose some of them, the whole thing would not be there anymore. Is that right? This is called tamam. If you are providing the arkan or the essential parts of salat, then your salat is complete. When your salat is complete, then you have the opportunity to make it perfect. Perfection is something will come after the completion of salat. For example, they say, if you want to make your salat perfect, do it with the mindfulness in your heart. When you do the namaz, you do the salat, don't get distracted. Don't let yourself to get distracted. Oh, where I should go after salat. I have to visit this brother. I have to go to supermarket. I have to go to Costco, buy something. So this is what it comes to your mind, okay? So it says that you are distracted to the extent that sometimes you don't know which actually rak'at you are. This will happen. That's why you have to manage how to resolve the shak or the doubt in namaz, in salat. I'm in the second rakat, third rakat, I'm in the sajda. Sometimes this happens to me too. I don't know if I'm in the first sajda or I'm in the second sajda. This will happen. I go to the sujood, I have doubt. Did I do ruku before coming to the sujood or just went to the sujood from the qiyam? So sometimes this will happen. This is the why we are insan. What is the meaning of insan? It's said that insan is coming from the word of nisyan. Nisyan means forgetfulness. So it means that we are prone to have forgetfulness. So this is very natural. But sometimes we can have some control over this. And so they say, the perfect salat, has the essence of kamal, is the salat which you have intention fully for your namaz, for your salat. You don't have distraction. What we call it, huzurul qalb. Huzurul qalb. Your qalb is present in salat. According to one of the scholars in jurisprudence, said, sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have 4 rakat salat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept only 1 rakat of 4 rakat. Why? Because you had only huzur al-qalb in 1 rakat. In the second rakat, you didn't have huzur al-qalb. You don't have actually your heart is not present in salat. So that's why huzur al-qalb is very important. There is a hadith. It says, La salata illa bihuzur al-qalb. Salat is not salat unless you have your heart present in namaz, in salat. It doesn't say, salat is batil. We say it's not perfect. Or they say, salatul jama'ah. If there is salatul jama'ah, you do salat in congregation, then your namaz would be perfect. You do individually is acceptable, but it is not perfect as you are doing namaz in jama'at. Okay? So this is the difference between kamal and tamam, between perfection and completion. And you see Quran, what Quran says? Quran says that after Prophet Muhammad conveyed the message of vilayat, then the Quran says, now the ni'mat is completed. The ni'mat is completed. It means that your Islam is not Islam if you don't have the wilayat. And wilayat, as we said, is very important because the benefit of wilayat would actually come to the society, to the people. Because wilayat means that one of the connotations of wilayat is that there is someone who is the role model of sacrifice, the one who is always giving this sense of sacrifice to the society. And as Ibrahim alayhi salam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخَرِينَ. I just want to be example of sacrifice, not only for my age, but for every age. But I can be the example of sacrifice in my lifetime, but I want people to be like me, to be example of sacrifice after me. وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخَرِينَ. It means that in next generation. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says that we fulfill this promise to Ibrahim alayhi salam. وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُمْ لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ عَلِيًّا. And we have the Imam al-Hussein salawatullahi alayhi. And he is the lisan al-sidq al-ali for Ibrahim alayhi salam in the battle of Karbala. He actually made the sacrifice of Ibrahim alive for the Muslims of his time. The reason that we are commemorating Imam Hussein because we want to make this example alive. Make example alive. The example of sacrifice. That you see that this is Hussein, that we are ready to actually act upon the manner of Hussein alayhi salam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why you see that there is in ziyarat, what you say in the ziyarat, you say in the ziyarat, you are not just, coming to the Imam Bargaf or Majalis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam just to, cry for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. No, you want to show that you are truly ready to follow the sacrifice of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That's why in ziyarat, what you say, we say, ثبت لي قدم صدق ثبت لي قدم صدق عندك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا مهجهم دون الحسين عليه السلام. See that you are saying in the ziyarat, I'm not just saying that I love Imam Hussein alayhi salam. I want to prove by practice that I am following the manner of Imam Hussein alayhi salam when he offered sacrifice. Qadam al-sidq. Why it is called Qadam al-sidq? Qadam in Arabic means the foot. Is that right? It means that it is connotation of practice. Deed. It is not just claiming. You are striving to prove that you are following Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And this is not actually only in the ziyarat. This is the verse which comes from the Quran. The Quran says, وَبَشِّرْ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنَّ لَهُمْ قَدَمَ صِدْقٍ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ. Give glad tidings to the believers who are proving their faith by practicing the truth. You are ready to practice it, not just claiming. Qadam as-sidqan, you are ready to work for it. You are ready to prove it by practice. That's why, when you read this dua, رَبِّ أَدْخِلْنِي مُدْخَلَ صِدْقٍ وَأَخْرِجْنِي مُخْرَجَ صِدْقٍ وَاجْعَلْ لِي مِن لَّدُنكَ سُلْطَانًا نَصِيرًا. This dua in the Quran, some people translate this verse as, مُخْرَجَ الصِّدْق means that you are getting your reward in the day of judgment, in the paradise. But, this is one connotation, but the other important connotation is that you're always actually proving your claim that you are Muslim. This is the meaning of mudkhal as-sidq. God help me that during my lifetime, from the beginning to the end, I'm always capable to prove my claim that I am Muslim by practice. That's why we said we do dua that we have the good ending. عاقبة الخير. اللهم اختم عاقبة أمورنا خيرا. It means that, sometimes people some people they are, truthful in practice in the beginning, but in the end, they lose the faith. They are not practicing the truth anymore. That's why you do dua that, Ya Allah, help me that I would be, unscathed in proving the practice of truth. رب أدخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعلني من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد بالقاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المكرمين. الصلاة والسلام على أئمة المسلمين سيما أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب صلوات الله عليه وصلى وسلم على سيدة نساء العالمين فاطمة صلوات الله عليها، وصل وسلم على سبطي الرحمة الحسن والحسين وعلي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة القائم المنتظر. اللهم اجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه والمدافعين تحت لوائه. أوصيكم عباد الله ونفسي بتقوى الله ونظم أمركم. As I said in the first khutbah, we need to keep the banner of sacrifice alive, and we should, the reason that we should commemorate the sacrifice of Imam al-Hussein salawatullah alayh is the same as we are celebrating the sacrifice of Ibrahim in the Hajj ceremony. The reason that we continue to practice the Hajj ritual because we want to keep the legacy of Ibrahim alive. Because we want to, as the Quran says, وَاتَّبِعُوا مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا. You have to follow the manner and the way of Ibrahim. Follow the sacrifice of Ibrahim. Even Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had to follow the manner of Ibrahim. And اتبع أوحينا إليك. We sent to you wahi, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And اتبع ملة إبراهيم حنيفا. وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Why? Because the way of Ibrahim is not different from the way of Muhammad. They are promoting the same deen, the word of La ilaha illallah. Even, you know, the name of deen is singular, is that right? It is not, you cannot see in the Quran the word of deen in plural form. It is always in the singular form. Inna ad-deena inda Allah al-Islam. Kana hanifan musliman. Quran says about Ibrahim, he was Muslim. So, when you say, you know, Muslim, it means that you have to have what we call it wilayat and bara'at. Tawalli and tabarri. Both of them. Your tawheed would not be complete without bara'at. And bara'at comes before wilayat. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha is bara'at. Illallah is wilayat. You see? La ilaha illallah. In Ayatul Kursi, what we say? Yakfur bit-taghut. First, you have to have bara'at to taghut. Wa yu'minu billah. Then you have to have the faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى. And one of the manifestation of al-urwatul wusqa is sacrifice. And I said this many times, we are doing today Salat al-Jum'ah. This Salat al-Jum'ah we are doing because of sacrifice of Ibrahim alayhi salam and sacrifice of Imam al-Hussein salawatullah. The reason we are doing sajda on the dirt of Imam Hussein, dirt of Karbala, because we want to inculcate ourselves constantly, especially during the salat, to the virtue of sacrifice. That Imam Hussein alayhi salam offered his life for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we have to do the same. He is not with us anymore, but we are using every means to remember the sacrifice of Imam al-Hussein salawatullah. And if we are not promoting the Tawheed by our action, then we are not qualified to be called Muslim. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, practicing the truth in this world will lead you to have the seat of truth in the world to come. This is what the Quran says. Innal muttaqina fi jannatin wa nahar. Their pious people would be in the gardens, you know, close to the rivers. Then the Quran says, fi maq'adi sidqin. في مقعد صدق عند مليك مقتدر. مقعد in Arabic means chair. If you want to sit on the chair of truth in the world to come in the day of judgment, you have to practice the truth in this world. If you want to be in the presence of Malik, Malik is the king, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Muqtadir, the one who is capable to do everything. You have to practice the truth in this world. You have to not only claim the truth, you have to practice the truth. إن المتقين في جنات ونهر في مقعد صدق عند مليك مقتدر. Inshallah Rahman, we all inshallah ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us opportunity to develop our souls to the extent that we are qualified to sit on the chair of truth in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا أمير المؤمنين ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا أمير المؤمنين حجة الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم والذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين وآخرين منهم لما يلحقوا بهم وهو العزيز الحكيم. ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم. مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا بئس مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. قل يا أيها الذين هادوا إن زعمتم أنكم أولياء لله من دون الناس فتمنوا الموت إن كنتم صادقين ولا يتمنونه أبدا بما قدمت أيديهم والله عليم بالظالمين. قل إن الموت الذي تفرون منه فإنه ملاقيكم ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. وإذا رأوا تجارة أو لهوا انفضوا إليها وتركوك قائما قل ما عند الله خير من اللهو ومن التجارة والله خير الرازقين. الله أكبر. رب أدخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعل لي من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بالله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب رب وارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. اللهم صل إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من نفس لا تشبع من قلب لا يخشع، من علم لا ينفع، صلاة لا ترفع، دعاء لا يسمع. اللهم إني أسألك اليسر بعد العسر، والفرج بعد الكرب، والرخاء بعد الشدة. اللهم ما بنا من نعمة فمن لا إله إلا أنت، أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا أمير المؤمنين ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا أمير المؤمنين حجة الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حميده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بالله وقوته يقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر. رب إني لما أنزلت إلي من خير فقير، أنت ولي في الدنيا والآخرة، توفني مسلما وألحقني بالصالحين. ربنا آمنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت أرحم الراحمين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته يقوم ويقعد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
الله الرحمن. اللهم كل وليك
صلواتك عليه في هذا الساعة في كل ساعة ودليلا وحافظا وواحدا وناصرا ودليلا حتى وسلمه وأشكره العفو وتمته فيها برحمتك يا أرحم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
I just a Fatiha for all and moving towards Jafar Jadi Sidna. First Friday prayer member Zatali Federal Jadi decide is
بسم الله.
like 5 ton of my were safe for brother Muhammad Karachi Kana Madatan Mar
أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض إله الله تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض إله الله قليلا ما تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض إله الله قليلا ما تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض إله الله قليلا ما تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض إله الله قليلا ما تذكرون.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم محمد المصطفى.